Yeah. So should we go, are we done in this room or should we go look at the CNC
Well,
stuff?
only one other little thing you might want to see. This is my torrefying oven.
This is, oh, what are we doing here?
Torrefying
Oh,
wood. All
torrefying
my
oven.
now are made of torrefied wood.
Okay.
And when I started doing it, I sent it out to commercial torrefiers, and I had them do it at the lowest temperature they would do it at. And I think it was about 185 centigrade. And I thought it was too much. So I think this is out of the same tree, these pieces. But this one, the one in my left hand, was 185, and this is 170.
Uh-huh.
And you can see the color difference.
That's quite different.
Yeah, and you can over torrefy. It gets brittle. So in my early experimentations, I was doing this. I wasn't getting it even. I was getting more down here, less down here. You know, it was. You see how uneven the color is?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've done a lot on this oven to make it I've put in a circulating fan. I've got a thermometer that goes into my vessel. The wood is inside of here. It's not open to the elements. And torrefying, you have to keep the oxygen away. That's the main point. And there's several ways of doing that. And I do it by pushing nitrogen through this container.
Okay.
So I trickle nitrogen into that when it's at the high and the upper temperatures.
Okay.
And so it pushes anything out, which would be, any oxygen would be pushed out.
So getting nitrogen into that box has got to be a little bit of an engineering feat without melting whatever it is that's delivering it. Do you have copper on the side of it, or?
Let's take this out. Let's see if that light will come on.
Could you still make some cookies in there if you needed to?
Oh yeah, I bake pies in here at Thanksgiving.
Okay, good.
You do not.
I do.
Do you really?
I think even lobster might have made a cookie in it.
Do they taste a little sprucey?
I'll tell you what, maple, when you heat it, has this smell of maple syrup.
Oh, good.
It has a really nice smell, and I do a lot of maple, so maybe it's mapley. But anyway, this goes into a hole in the side of the box, and it's got a paper flare on it. So I push it all the way in, and I'll put steam. There's a part of the process that takes steam in the box, and part of it that takes nitrogen. So I'll push from the outside. I'll push into that container from here. Here's a thermometer that goes into the container, so I know the inside temperature. And here's a thermometer in the oven. Mm-hmm. So I've got two thermometers up here. I know the temperature inside the box and in the oven. So it just holes drilled in there with a piece of copper.
So are the commercial torrefiers, are they using vacuum or are they using nitrogen as well?
Well, I would think that in those huge ovens, it might be more efficient to use vacuum, or I've also heard of them being completely sealed and a flame burns the oxygen out.
Okay.
I've heard of some torrefiers that will burn the oxygen out, and then it's sealed enough that nothing gets in. I've also heard of torrefying containers exploding.
Yeah.
This is none of this is sealed that tight. It can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with a small box I have, I don't think I have $4 or $5 in each load in there in nitrogen cost.
You've got a lot of wood put up. Like if you had your choice, do is there anything to having like 15-year-old wood versus torrefied, or do you think it's roughly kind of equivalent at this point? Do you think torrefication is good enough to outpace naturally aged wood? Or I should say
I'm torrefied. I mean, I don't think at all. Let me see. So here's the same wood. You can see the same knot on either side. This side, I'm using my iPhone light. This side, let's turn that overhead light out. It might show up better. Right behind that dust collector there, that dust pipe. You got it right there. Okay, so this side is not torrefied. They're both the same thickness.
Interesting.
And that's what I was told. Dana Bourgeois was telling me about this. And that if you put a light inside of a 30s Martin, you won't get any pass through. I don't know if you've ever tried that.
You did that at Dan's shop for us once.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he told me that. And so basically what this is doing is mimicking the older wood. And my theory, I can't prove anything, but my theory is that the stuff that's in there, besides the water, the oils, the resins, the sugars that are in there, and a fresh cut piece of wood is liquid. Is liquid. And when you torrefy, you turn it into a dry. And the sap in wood, when it dries, it's kind of granular, like rosin. So instead of the light being transmitted through, when the light hits it, it's randomly diffused. Refracted, yeah, whatever the term would be. So very little of it passes straight through.
Cool.
And those resins cure over time, or if you do something like this.
That's really cool. That's I think you're the first person I've ever heard of doing home bake
Home
torrefication.
torrefying.
Yeah, like I've never heard of anybody else doing it. Is it expensive, like getting a nitrogen tank set up to do it? Is it?
Well, I think I mentioned that I think I have $4 in each box of torrefied.
Okay.
My bottles, here's a nitrogen bottle down here. The refill on them is $26, and I get 5 or 6. It flows out of it.
So that, and you can just get that at a welding supply. Like
Yeah.
That's what you would use for like doing TIG welding or something.
So what kind of difference does it make when you torrefy a pie or a turkey rather than bake it?
Bake it.
Flavor-wise.
It tastes old. It tastes really old.
Oh my God. Everybody likes